I'm Michael Aiello, and welcome to this edition of Steppin' Up to Fitness. Today we're going to be discussing the most misunderstood aspect of fitness, and that is core strength. The most misunderstood aspect of core strength is simply this. People run to their gym, do 600 crunches, and think they're working out their core. Core simply means mid-chest to mid-thigh front, mid-back to mid-hamstring back. And today we're going to start working out that aspect. Patrick's going to begin simply on his tummy with his chin up, his hands forward, and his feet pointed out behind him as if he were swimming. He's going to lift his wrists, elbows, chest, quads, knees, and feet off the ground at the same time, doing 3 sets of 10 at home and increasing in repetition as you grow stronger. Ready? And begin. The next exercise is simply a single arm, single leg Superman. Patrick will begin left side arm, right side leg, doing 3 sets of 10 again at home, and begin. And switching sides. Very good. For each of those exercises, Pat has used his low back, his glutes on both sides, and both hamstrings. Now we're going to flip over and get the front of the core. To continue with our anterior core exercise, we're going to begin with our upper level of abdominals. Patrick's going to get in a standard crunch position, meaning both feet are flat underneath his knees, his hips are flat on the floor, his elbows are wide into the outside, and his hands are pressed in tightly up against his head, in back. His chin is going to be raised and his face will remain parallel to the ceiling at all times through the exercise. Again at home, we're beginning with 3 times 10 and increasing in repetition as you grow stronger. Begin. Notice Pat's chin stays off of his chest as he rises up, bringing his shoulder blades off the ground each time. The most common complaint I hear when people are doing crunches is they get low back pain. That comes from the fact that they drop their chin during the exercise to their chest. We want to keep Pat's chin facing forward and his face parallel to the ceiling at all times through the exercise to avoid low back pain. Begin. The next exercise is a double knee raise. We're going to begin Patrick flat on his back. Again, his face parallel to the ceiling and his chin square, with his hands triangled just above and below his glutes. His elbows will be wide to the outside so that this will allow a wider base and less stress on his low back. He's going to take a deep breath to begin, bending both knees, bringing them as far as he can to his chest. The next exercise will be a middle abdominal exercise. Patrick will begin by taking both hands from outside his hips, bringing them back up onto his chest. We're going to bring both feet up above his pelvis. And he's going to simply crunch up, touching both toes, keeping his head and chin in the same position as before. And begin. Remember at home, keep your head, your face parallel to the ceiling, and your chin square. Our next exercise is a low abdominal exercise called a straight leg. Patrick's going to begin with both feet completely forward and his heels together, his hands triangled around his glutes, his chin square to his chest, and his face parallel to the ceiling. And during this exercise, it's crucial to remember to keep the toes pointed back towards your nose. This will allow the knee to remain locked and to keep the stress off the low back. He'll take a deep breath as he exhales, bring both feet off the ground as high as he can get them to go, keeping his pelvis flush to the floor. Again, remember to keep those toes cocked back towards your nose as you exercise. If you feel pain in your low back, stop immediately. Our next exercise is a middle core exercise. Patrick's going to begin in a regular crunch position, keeping his pelvis square, his feet flat on the floor, and his knees bent about a shoulder's width apart. He'll extend both hands forward towards his knees, and crunch forward, bringing his shoulder blades off the ground, keeping his face, again, square with the ceiling. Our next exercise is a low abdominal exercise below the navel. Patrick will straighten both legs, keeping his heels together and his toes cocked back towards his nose. He will triangle his hands again around his glutes on both sides. His face will remain parallel to the ceiling as he does a 6 to 6, bringing his feet 6 inches off the ground and returning them down to it. And begin. It's crucial again that Pat keeps his toes cocked back towards his nose at all times and his head on the floor. Our next exercise will be a middle and low core exercise called a scissor kick. Patrick will simply bring both feet up above his pelvis, keeping his hands and elbows in the same position. Remember to keep your face parallel to the ceiling throughout this entire exercise. Pat will bring his feet up and then dropping them forcefully down to the ground. Again, at home, do 10, 3 times, and as you grow stronger, increase repetition. Our next exercise is a full core exercise called a V straight leg. Patrick will begin seated at about a 15-degree angle with both hands flat on the floor. Again, his chin will remain parallel to the floor and his face facing the far wall. His heels together and his toes cocked back towards his nose. He'll take a deep breath, and as he exhales, he'll lift both legs as high as they will go without allowing his knees to bend. He'll simply do 3 times 10 at home, and increasing in repetition as you grow stronger. As your feet rise off the floor, the chest will naturally move forward, and that is perfectly okay and should be done that way. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Stepping Up to Fitness. Remember, the key to core strength is incorporating it into your regular workout. Do it every day, and it will take good care of you. Keep your face parallel to the ceiling to avoid pain, and if you feel pain, stop.